This is Marco from Cryptosis, and you're listening to Brutally Delicious podcast.
This is awesome. I think this is the most people that we've had in a single podcast.
I think so too. We just got to not step on each other, I guess, right?
Yes, you have to raise your hand.
Just like in kindergarten, or how do you say it? And in high school, maybe.
Yeah.
Bruce is the teacher, and he hands out the turns to speak.
All right. So you are the teacher.
Shall we?
We shall.
Lauren, do you want to give it a 1-2? Let's see what we sound like.
Check 1, 2.
We'll go with it.
Yeah.
Oh well, dude from the grave. We need one.
Yeah, dude from the grave. Let's go with that.
Awesome. You want to take the lead, Riina? Or you want me to jump in?
Yeah, you go ahead.
So you guys have recently signed a deal with Century Media, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Was it more of a soliciting thing, or did they find you guys?
Well, actually, we just recorded the album, and we have a management team from Vienna. We just gave the album to them and said, maybe just, try to show it to some of your contacts. And I think Century Media came pretty quickly with the interest. From there, we just started to talk about a possible deal, and we talked about what we wanted, and basically it was done pretty well, actually. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've been banging around on I was telling Riina before we got on here, you guys absolutely are one of my new favorite bands. I totally dig what you're doing.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's nice when we get stuff that we're interviewing and that I totally dig. But when you guys are writing, are you guys all writing together, or are you guys like in the old traditional sense, or are you sending parts back and forth via email?
Yeah, more on the last thing. Like very modern to do that kind of stuff, but it's really easy to do it that way. If you have an idea of your own, if you have a guitar riff or some drum part or whatever, or some lyrics, you can just put it on a cloud. For example, we use Google Drive just to collect the ideas, and then if you have a good idea and the other people think it's also good, then you just work on that, and then just keep going until the song is done, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also really fun, I think, to see, in retrospect, one song, for example, has 35 versions, and another song maybe 12, So sometimes the song really clicks easy altogether. But sometimes, you have to really work on details. And when you listen to the album right now, it's just, you can't tell which song has many versions with songwriting, and you cannot tell this difference. And I think that's a really fun way of working on a project like this.
Sure.
And I think also at the end we when we finish a song in pre-production, we start rehearsing it, or sometimes even during the songwriting as well. But if it's done and we start playing it together, then we also tune some things, change some transitions, or fine-tune a riff even more. If we play together, then we come up with other ideas as well.
So
right. When you do, sorry, Bruce, let me do this.
No, go.
And when you do do these versions of the songs, if you have a song that has the 35 versions, is the first version and the number 35 completely different? Is it more fine-tuning riffs, as Lawrence just said, or is it completely turning the thing around and going for a completely different arrangement or something? Has it become a completely different song at some point?
I think the first 10 versions, yes, and from there it's just really, really minor details.
Yeah, I think so too. And sometimes we start an idea, for example, we we give a certain name to a file and say this is song number 12, for example. And we have 2 riffs in there, and the next version is as another riff put behind there, and then the other one is something switched around or with a transition in between. Like it's like a puzzle, and there are pieces coming. How do you say this? It's like you're completing the puzzle and then rearranging it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you guys eventually get into the studio and rehearse, or get into a space to rehearse it all before you record it? Because I think that's where it becomes more organic, right? When you're kind of, well, this part works, this part doesn't work, and you kind of do flush it out that way. So you do something like that, though, right? It's not just email.
Yeah, we actually spent 10 days in a rehearsal room just before we go to the studio, together, like in the woods, with only the 3 of us, no girlfriends and nobody else, and just play music all day, basically. And that's where the final details of the album were born.
And I think that makes everything much more organic and more real, correct? I mean, that's where you can kind of get the feel for it, the sway and the...
Yeah, that's actually really true. Because before we were going into that rehearsal space, we only rehearsed the song with the click tracks and with the MP3 files, with the drum computer. But when you play them together, it's like the details. Yeah, I don't know. It's something. It's something else, actually. It's another way of approaching the music.
Right. No, I agree. Riina?
Yeah, that sounds really good, that cabin in the woods kind of setting.
I'd love to live in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I'm Finnish, so that's what we do for part of the year, basically. But apparently you guys get along quite well, because being confined in the same space for 10 days, I'm good with the weekend with my guys.
We actually never had a fight. The 3 of us never had a fight in 7 years now.
Wow.
That is amazing. Not even artistic differences, but you're just this is music we have the same direction, and this is what we're doing.
No, that's
no.
we didn't really. Of course, you have difference also in taste and in music, and you have different expectations maybe. But big fights and people walking away or smashing stuff or hitting each other, that never happened.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we worked quite a lot together. And then you are together for 3-4 weeks, and that every time it went well. We had a good time, and we didn't have any fight, and we didn't get pissed off at each other. Sometimes there were little things, of course, but I think it's normal. But it's really good. We're a good team, so
we're in a healthy marriage.
It's such a rare thing to have, so just cling on to each other, boys.
Yeah.
Well, I think a big part of this is also there's no really big egos, in this band, and everybody is pretty equal to each other. So that makes it that makes it easier to work with each other. We speak the same language, the same accent.
Sure.
Musically, we have more or less the same ideas, what we want, but maybe not what we listen to at home, but definitely what we want to achieve and what we want to play.
Right.
And I think that helps a lot. With going along so well.
Yeah, I bet, this healthy marriage will probably allow you to give birth to a lot of healthy children. By children, I mean your albums, of course. So maybe your lifespan,
That's true.
Definitely, yeah. I think everyone in the band, it brings its piece to the puzzle, and everyone has his own influences of not only thrash but also from other genres like prog metal or black metal, death metal, and I think also in your subconsciousness there are a lot of things happening that you aren't aware of all the time. But if you listen to, for example, classical music or opera or jazz, then these things they get stuck in your mind and go out into some kind of riff that you write, So that's pretty cool. When it comes together, we just create our own music, and I think with this album we created our own musical footprints, more or less. I think it's not only trash; it's got a lot of elements in there from other genres. So yeah, we are really happy with the album so far.
So I've got a question. I've got a question for you. When you guys are writing, I mean, it's such heavy stuff. Are you writing for the way it's going to come across in front of a live audience, or are you writing the song just for the song's sake, and then worry about later on the audience?
We're writing what we like.
Yeah.
That's all.
So you're not worried about how it's going to translate. You worry about that later on.
No, but that's also something that has to grow. When you are on tour, the first time you play the songs, they really sound differently than, for example, at the last few shows of the tour, because like you said, it's becoming more organic and more like I don't know, it's just some kind of feel that it's hard to describe, I think. But yeah, I think the songs will live more like the more you play it in a concert setting.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think we were always a band that writes music to listen to rather than to party to,
Right.
Yeah. We have a lot of bands that write music. For example, they write a song for this is great for in the mosh pit,
Right. That's what I was asking.
People like to listen to this and just smash each other's brains in, But we always write music that I think is always looked at from a songwriting perspective. In that case, that you just have to listen to it. Just stand there, listen to it. Yeah, maybe smash each other's brains in, but you can do it if you like.
Right.
Yeah, the same difference between Metallica and Megadeth, I think, Metallica is more the party kind of band, Megadeth more like a show-off band,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
That's an interesting distinction. I've never thought about it like that, but I tend to agree. There's a point to this.
Yeah. For example, like if you're at the beach, with a fire and some drinks and an acoustic guitar, you can maybe play like 10 or 15 Metallica songs, but nobody can play any Megadeth song, because it's too hard to play on a simple setting like that, And
right.
I think that's why a lot of people also more like Metallica than Megadeth.
Because it's easier to digest.
Yeah.
I never actually thought about that either.
Yeah, there's actually a really interesting sort of like this rising of these like party bands in the metal scene, like for instance, Night Flight Orchestra and stuff like this that is like being like squeezed into the metal festivals, but it's clearly just party music. It's like, it's songs jump up and down to like battle. Beast in Black. I was gonna say Metal Beast, but that's different. Beast in Black, for instance, like it's disco basically.
Yeah.
It's now wearing the jacket of metal for some reason. I personally enjoy it. I personally think it's great. I think it's awesome when we mix the genres and just blur the lines a little bit. But yeah, it's just weird that maybe there's like the distinction is getting a little bit more blurry altogether. Like what is cool to like, what is true enough,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think they just approach it differently. I mean, people are going to a festival to have a party, and party music fits great to that. I think Bands like Ailstorm, or they just just raise your drink and get into the mosh pit and get drunk and wasted and go to your tent at the end of the night, basically.
But then you have bands like Meshuggah on the same bill that are completely not and super technical. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
And we tend to like that kind of bands a lot more, like Meshuggah, Opeth, Symphony X. I think, what am I missing? Dream Theater, Rush.
Right.
Party music is actually great. I mean, we don't want to sound negative about it. We all like it as well. On a festival, when you see a band that plays simple music, you can drink a few beers. But for us, it's more like we play instruments I play drums for 16 years, and those guys play bass and guitars for maybe even more. I don't even know, actually. But, you develop a kind of skill and a style, and then you want to play that with your own band instead of doing it's not a simple thing, but you want to show off what you've learned in 15 years of practicing your instrument, basically. And then you develop your own type of music, and that's basically it. But we really love party music, actually.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, room for everything.
Sorry?
There's definitely room for every genre, every style of everything. Rock, whatever.
Exactly.
Yes. For everything. You need to have that variety to pick for whatever you want,
I think though stuff like Cryptosis, I think it's very almost cathartic though, right? What did I do wrong?
It's actually Cryptosis.
I'm sorry?
Cryptosis.
What did I say? Cryptosis?
Yeah.
Sorry. But I think that heavy stuff is so super cathartic, though, right? I mean, you're kind of getting stuff out as opposed to the party stuff where it's just let's drink a beer.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yes.
I didn't understand the question, actually.
Frank is pissed now. He thinks now you don't know the band really because you didn't even know their name. But
what did I just mispronounce it?
Frank is
I'm American.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's metal. No, what I was saying though is, do you find that it's like super cathartic? It's a way to get when you're a lot more serious. I find that people identify it with and can. Well, cathartic is the best way I could say it. Would you agree?
Frank said yes, and that's all you're.
That's all we're gonna get out of that one. Then nobody wants to talk to me anymore. No. I'm sorry. I'll let Riina take over.
I love that. That was awesome. Isn't it that so? Yes. And then just complete silence.
Yeah, they don't want to hear after I mispronounced it.
Right. Yeah, I understand. Like the point of it being cathartic, and I bet it is. Like that there's different avenues of spilling your darkest parts of your soul into music that doesn't have to place people at a bonfire drinking beer. So I guess that's what you were going for. And I don't know if you guys just have these black pits in you that you need to, spew out into your music. Is that something that you do?
Yeah, I think it's easier, or maybe not easier, but it's for us, it's more natural to just to make a music that's more like you can put your own meaning to it, like as a listener. And like the bands that we just talked about, like the party bands, it's just like it's really flat, it's like you see what you get, what you see. And for us, it's more like we just also with the concept and the lyrics, we just want the listener just to make up their own world, like make up their own story about it, like what it meant for them or what they feel about it in their reality, and not so much like we want to push like a typical story,
Okay.
Right. So you don't have a specific purpose on how you want to influence your listeners with your music. There's not like a message, let's save the planet or kill the children, like
Kill the children. Nice.
No, exactly. Just like that.
Yeah, I think generally we like to write music that is it's very dark. I think we like more like we like to sound more or less evil. I think the sound is evilish. So it's a lot of minor stuff, and we also introduced some black metal influences in this album. So like dark, sinister vibes sometimes. But we all like this, and it's really great. And if you look at the lyrics, I think the lyrics are generally they're a bit overrated because people they listen to the music and the sound. They're not if they are interested at all, they want to listen to the lyrics. But I don't think many people will do it when listening to it the first time. But maybe if they like it a lot, they check into the lyrics and see what the album is about, for example. But yeah, we don't want to write lyrics about some bullshit. So we invest in finding out the topics and what they are about. And we wrote a concept album about the future, and we have eight songs actually that I have. They are connected to the future, the year 2149. And yeah, we wrote different scenarios from that might happen in that time, actually.
Yeah, so there's a lot of fantasy going on, like for a listener as well. Instead, like it's just the typical Satan or depressive lyrics.
Are you guys planning on doing anything like live stream wise or anything because since nobody can tour yet?
Yeah, we are planning on something, but we are not sure if it will happen. But if it will, we will announce it pretty soon. So let's hope it will work out.
All right, Riina, you got anything else?
Working on it.
Huh? Yeah, cool. That was like I don't care what you gotta say, boys. Yeah, cool.
It's no worse than me messing up the name, so we're all good.
Getting into your band, we were talking about. Honestly, does love it. So, honestly,
what did I say actually? Because I don't even know what I said.
I know, but way off. I don't know.
Cryptosis.
Exactly.
Oh. So it's a pronunciation thing, and not really.
Apparently, yeah.
I'm not sure what you said, but something like that.
I think you're right, Lawrence.
I can't wait till when I hang up. I'm gonna go back and listen to what I said because I have no idea. I just saw everybody laughing at me, and I got a complex.
At least you're not like making those weird grunting sounds anymore. Maybe you are because it was Chris who like caught up on it. And it was super weird when we were interviewing a lady, and he's there going, in the background, like, stop being a creeper, Bruce.
I don't remember any of that. I think Riina's making that crap up, but I've been accused of making grunts somehow in these conversations.
It was weird. It's like,
no,
Bruce, it's not okay.
You guys have anything else before we go?
Yeah, if we ever go on tour near your city, just write us on Facebook a message, and we would be happy to put you on a guest list and have a drinks.
All right, and also, where can fans find you? Are you guys pretty active social media wise?
Yeah, we are active on Facebook, on Instagram. We have our own website with a web shop as well. If you are interested in buying some merchandise, you can also do it there. You can see where we perform live. We actually have a tour coming up in May and June this year.
Oh wow!
With Vector from the USA, Philadelphia. We're going to tour for almost 4 weeks together. So that will be pretty awesome. And we have our album coming out end of March on Century Media. it's going to be awesome. If you are a fan of thrash, death metal, if you like black and thrash, if you like progressive music, you should check it out.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
It was definitely all the things that you mentioned: sinister, evil, gloomy. It was really good.
Yes.
Very gloomy.
All right, cool, man. Be well, stay safe, and hopefully we'll catch you live.
Thanks a lot.
Take care, my friends. Later. Bye.
Bye.
Hello there, this is Duncan Evans, and today I'm reviewing the new album from Immortal Guardian. The album's called Psychosomatic. So Immortal Guardian are based in Texas, and they play kind of power metal or prog metal. They call it super metal. Their guitar player and keyboard player, the same person, actually plays both of those instruments at the same time live. And you can see him doing that, one instrument with one hand, the other instrument with the other hand, on some of their videos. If you want to check that out, it's quite impressive. Psychosomatic is Immortal Guardian's second album. And before I get into the music, I'm just going to say that this sort of style of metal, power metal, prog metal, is not really my thing. However, Immortal Guardian do it really, really well. So the record has a massive sound, it's epic, it's bombastic, it's full of really catchy melodies and riffs, it's virtuosic, there's keyboard solos, guitar solos, all of the playing is brilliant, the drumming's great, the bass playing's great, it's all absolutely locked in and tight, and the production is really, really strong, it's very tight, very heavy, very punchy, but still sounds natural enough and isn't completely plastic sounding. Vocally, it's absolutely brilliant, it does everything you'd want from this sort of music. You've got low growls, you've got operatic sections, and you've got some super high screams as well, and it's all absolutely immaculate. There's also some influences that you might not necessarily expect. So as well as the neoclassical metal prog sort of sounds, and as well as the big metal riffs, you've also got some Eastern sounding influences, some of those Eastern scales. You've also got some EDM, electronic dance music influence, with some arpeggiated synth patterns and things like that, which is a bit different for this sort of music. Theme-wise, lyrically, this is all about COVID and lockdown and the whole situation that we've been in for the past year or so. And that's quite a risky thing to do, in my view, because I think a lot of people have had enough of hearing about COVID from the news, and they sometimes want an escape from that in the art that they are consuming, listening to, whatever. But these guys, they explore lots of different aspects of that. So they talk about the mental health impact of lockdown. They also lament the death toll and all sorts of other angles. And not all of it's done in a really obvious way. Some of it's done in a more oblique way, a bit more of an artistic, metaphorical type of way. So it's not all absolutely in your face, just talking about COVID. Yeah, so that's basically it. If you are into power metal, progressive metal, that type of thing, then I think you're going to love this record. And it's out now. It's called Psychosomatic. It's just come out. It's available on CD and vinyl and digital downloads on M Theory Audio. I've been Duncan Evans. Thanks for listening.
Hello out there. Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together, we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.